One, Joss. Come on. Can't we get through one video without you killing the main character?
He didn't kill the main character.
Hey everybody, welcome to Cosmic Crisis TV and another episode of Cosmic Movie Reviews. Today we're going to be doing the Avengers Age of Ultron spoiler video, whereas Saturday we put out the spoiler free. So, Abby, why don't you give us the plot?
So the plot is this Ultron creature robot created by Tony and Bruce trying to cleanse the world by completely destroying it, and the Avengers just need to destroy him. That's pretty much it.
That's a good plot.
It really is pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. The Ultron is created by Tony Stark and Bruce Banner in this movie.
Yeah.
And not Hank Pym.
Idiots.
Which most nerds will point out, like, hey, why wasn't he created by Hank Pym? But I thought it fit well into this movie, him being created by Tony Stark and Bruce Banner.
It did work for the MCU.
Yep, it did.
So, let's go over some points of the movie. Top 3 moments, starting with Chris.
Top 3 moments?
Yeah.
4.
Oh boy.
One for
3.
each of us.
Let me do that. Top moment in the movie. Vision picks up the hammer. It's got to be the number one moment in the entire movie.
Come on.
So okay, let's set up that scene real quick. So after the party, so you go through the whole movie where they go to Baron Strucker's, get the staff and everything. So they're celebrating because okay, they beat Hydra. They think they beat him for the last time, so they're gonna have a party. And at the end of the party, everybody's talking about Mjolnir.
You're thinking of the wrong thing.
No. He's setting it up to that
I'm
point.
setting it up.
Yeah.
I'm setting it up. I am setting this up. Okay. It's okay. It's a setup. We need to set up this scene because everybody tries to pick up Mjolnir. First you got Hawkeye that tries to pick it up because he thinks it's just, okay, there's some kind of trick to it. He can't get it. Tony Stark tries to pick it up. Then he goes out, gets his Iron Man glove, tries to pick it up. He can't do it. War Machine or Rhodes tries to pick it up with him, so they're both sitting there trying to pick it up. They can't do it. Bruce Banner tries to do it. He acts like he's going to Hulk out because he's getting angry or whatever. Well, that's a joke. He can't pick it up. Captain America nudges it, but he can't pick it up. So you got that whole scene going on there, and then Thor's talking about, well, you got to be worthy and stuff. So later on in the movie, when Vision first appears, they're all debating, well, should we trust Vision? Should we not trust him? You know, what do we do kind of thing. We don't know where this guy came from. We don't know what he is. And then there he goes, just hands Thor his hammer because it's sitting on the table. Just hands it to him, and everybody just stops.
And it was like,
And everybody's got shocked looks on his face, and he's not even thinking anything about it, and he just hands it to him. Like, here you go.
Walks off like no big deal.
Thor holds it, he's like, alright, let's go.
It's the cloak. They both have cloaks on. It's definitely the cloak.
It's gotta be the capes.
It's got to be.
It's gotta be the capes.
no capes.
Definitely.
There you go. If you don't have a cape, you can't pick up Mjolnir.
I'm pretty sure that Vision got the idea from Thor, because he looks at Thor, sees the cape, and then he makes the cape appear.
I thought that was actually pretty
That
funny.
was
So
funny.
that's gotta be one of my top. What's you got a top moment?
Definitely when you meet Hawkeye's family. That was adorable, and it really builds his character because you don't really see all that much about him in the first one, and then you have more of him in this one, and it really does make him a better character.
I agree. CJ, your top moment.
Thanos in the glove.
Okay, that is, he's talking about the credit scene. So in the middle of the credits, you have a scene, and Thanos is basically like, well, I guess I gotta do it myself. And then you see him reach in and put the gauntlet on. So, and Kevin Feige has confirmed there are 2 Infinity Gauntlets in the MCU.
One right, one left-handed.
One is in Odin's
vault,
keep, so Odin's vault, and the other one Thanos has. So, gosh, top moment.
Mine actually would probably have to be a tie between Hulkbuster versus Hulk and the scene where everyone is gathered in front of the device that Ultron has, where they're all battling the Ultron sentries, and their individual themes are being clashed together into one giant Avengers theme.
Yeah, I agree. That great scene.
The only problem I had with that particular scene is it's not really that big of a deal at all. But as you see everybody like twice, 3 times, and you don't see Natasha till the very end, like right there. They pop up right here, and then that's it.
I didn't really
And then
care.
that was it. As my point was like, if you're gonna give everybody at least 3, you should probably give her 3 too, at least, maybe 2.
If I could have another top moment, it would be after Hawkeye talks to Scarlet Witch, is telling her that she can do it, and then she just pops out and destroys everything at the same time. That was awesome.
I would have to agree with that being one of the top moments right there. So if we're doing, say, top three moments for everybody, I would say that would be in one of my top 3 moments. So you got Hawkeye in there, who plays a pivotal role in this movie. I mean,
One of the.
he seems to be the core character of this movie that holds everybody together, and he seems to be.
He went from here in Avengers to there.
Yeah, I would say he's the most improved character in this entire movie. I think basically what the Hulk was for the Avengers movie, Hawkeye became for Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
So basically, to set up the scene right there, you have Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch in this room while the battle's going on outside, and he basically gives her this speech about, I don't need to be a babysitter here. He's like, I'm an Avenger, I got a job to do. Basically telling her, what, none of this makes sense. He's like, we're floating in the sky on this rock floating in the sky. We're fighting a bunch of robots, and I'm using a bow and arrow.
None
of this makes any sense. So it was kind of funny. Like, they made fun of themselves that, we're a comic book movie. We're gonna be a comic book movie. None of this makes sense. It's not based in reality or anything. And then he basically goes and tells her, he's like, if you step out that door, you're an Avenger.
That's Tracy Spider-Man.
Yeah, the little memes of Spider-Man squirting out. Yeah, buddy. So Hawkeye basically hops out the door and everything, starts doing his thing. And then you see her there, like, thinking about it after a while. And then she pops out of the room, just walks out the room. Looks like Hawkeye's getting overwhelmed out there. And then she just comes out, all eyes glowing, all red and everything, and just
Love
goes
her
to
powers.
town.
Love her
Starts
powers.
tearing everybody apart. I was like, oh my gosh.
My final moment would probably have to be when Quicksilver dies.
Yes, I would say that is one of the big moments. Because the build-up in the movie, it seemed like they were building up for Hawkeye to die.
Yeah.
Is what it looked like. So everything they kept showing was, okay, he is loading up these people on the craft to go over to the helicarrier, and then he sees the kid trapped over there, and he's like, oh man, I gotta help this kid. So it looks like they're setting it up. In every single scene, it's basically like, hey, come home to us, is basically what his wife's telling him.
Yeah.
So they're setting up this everything to make it look like Hawkeye's gonna die. So here comes Ultron on one of the jets, and he's just firing away at him. And it's coming up to Hawkeye and the kid.
The last second.
So at the last second, there's Quicksilver who sees him, and he runs over there, pushes the car in the way. And then next thing you see is that, Hawkeye looks around, he's like, okay, I'm okay, the kid's okay. And he looks over, there's Quicksilver, and he's like, hey, you didn't see that coming. And then he's
Riddled
all,
with bullets.
bullet holes all over the place, and then just falls over and dies. Basically after that scene, I have to say, along with that scene being the top scene, was when they show Scarlet Witch and the effect it has on her was
Yeah,
just
because they
goes-
are twins, they're linked.
Basically, she felt him die, and then just she goes ballistic, blows up everything around her, and then like the next scene after Hulk grabs Ultron out of the jet and throws him out, he's basically in the blown out bus or whatever it is, and she walks in there and she's like, hey, you killed my brother kind of thing. And she's like, you want to know how that feels? She completely goes Mortal Kombat on him, or Taliban or something, and just rips his heart out. And I was like, oh wow. So
I think the biggest thing about the scene where she just destroys everything is not the fact that she destroyed everything. Yes, that was a really awesome scene. But the fact that you have one of those robots just about there, and you see it and you think this is gonna be it. Like, this is gonna hit it, and it's gonna be, everything's gonna go down. But then she just wipes them all out, and it's pretty cool.
let's see, another scene. I had thought about another scene. Well, of course, anybody mentioned the Hulk. I think you mentioned Hulk and
Hulkbuster.
Hulkbuster.
That was me.
Yeah, that was you. You mentioned that one.
I like that. I like when he's pounding and pounding and pounding with his gusset. Turns around.
No, we
Sorry.
can basically move on to things that we liked about the movie, because not necessarily top scenes. I would say like certain things that I liked about the movie, like the combos. between some of the heroes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Thor and Captain America. So many combos in that movie where, okay, like in the first scene where they're at Baron Strucker's, they're all like, they see everybody all like lined up. They're like, oh look, they're in a line. They're like, they lined up for us. So the Captain America holds his shield out, and then
Boom.
Thor just hits it, and then just like wipes everybody out. You got other scenes where he just tosses him a shield and he hits it across and just starts knocking everybody out. Another combination you could say is where Ultron takes Thor and he's battling Thor one-on-one because he's basically saying, well, Thor, you're getting on my nerves kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And
Vision.
so you got Thor in there monologuing and he's like, you're like, man, where is he going with this? This makes no sense. Then he's like, I'm running out of things to say. Are you ready? And then you see Vision there with Mjolnir and just smacks Ultron across the
That was
just
That was
across the thing.
awesome.
It was like it was nice. So I was like, where is he going with this? This doesn't make any sense what he's saying. So I was like, oh, okay, he was buying time. Okay, he was stalling him. So what all did you guys like? What really stood out to you?
I liked the scene where they're in Africa, I think it is, and he's like, so what is your plan? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna monologue about my plan, but instead it's like, I love that scene because it is the typical stereotype for them. The bad guys to just go on and on
Yeah,
about their
it's
plan, and
it's
the
a
good
classic
guys
Bond
be able,
moment.
the good guys be able to just like destroy them within that time. And I'm going, I loved how he totally broke that stereotype. It was just like, no, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree. I liked how he was like, asked him what his plan was. I'm not gonna tell you my plan. It's like, how would I do that? I was like, yes, thank you, because like you said, every villain is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna sit here on a monologue and I'm gonna tell you everything that I do.
I think Loki did in the first one.
He did, yes, Loki
Yeah.
did.
And he got it.
Yeah, I agree. I like that.
What I liked about the movie is it's the next step in the Avengers. The Avengers, the first one was them saving the city. This one is them basically saving the world from global destruction. So it went on a higher level than the first one. It's much more serious, a bit more serious. No, I'd actually say a bit darker than
Yeah,
serious.
it was a bit darker. I would say, comparing it to the last one, I would say it was a better film, and it was more worldwide because they were in a lot more locations.
They were.
Rather than in just being in New York, it seemed like they were just in New York in the Avengers movie. Well, they were in a few other locations, but they were also in Germany and stuff. But this one, they did a whole lot more traveling around. You saw them in a lot more different places. It was they hardly ever stayed in one location. So I agree with that. I agree with that point right there. And this one felt like a better movie. The other one was a lot more nostalgia to it. Let's see, other things I liked about the movie. With the characters, I thought they brought out quite a few dynamics in each one of the characters. They built their stories really well. They all got their time on screen. I like the dynamic between Captain America and Iron Man because they were always disagreeing on everything. Basically, they both wanted to come to the same ends. They both wanted to protect the world, just wanted to do it in different ways. Captain America has his moral compass where there are things he will not do, and he wants to save everyone. Iron Man, he's willing to do whatever to protect everybody, even if that means cutting corners or not protecting everybody.
He's like, oh, it's only 3 people left. Like, it'll be fine. And then Captain America could just like knock him out and then like grab the 3 people. And
Yeah.
like, that's what you get.
Captain America's basically help everybody's being saved. So that's what he basically said when the whole city was being lifted up into the sky. It was like, no, we're saving everybody.
That's why I think Hawkeye would be good on Captain America's team, because he risked his life and was that close to dying just to save that one kid.
Okay. Talking about Ultron, what did you all like about Ultron?
I liked the voice they picked for him. The actor James Spader is a phenomenal actor. If you have not seen The Blacklist on NBC, check it out. He is wow.
What do you think of Ultron?
I liked how he stepped up with his suits. Like, first he starts out the battle damaged armor, like, I just got these random pieces, and how he confuses everyone when he says he killed someone, and Captain America's like, you killed someone? And no one thinks it's Jarvis. But then I thought it was cool how once he gets his fully upgraded suit closer to the end, and how he completely just destroys his older suit. he's like, that one sucks. I'm gonna just destroy it.
Okay. And what do you like about Ultron?
I like his sass. He was very sassy. And that just made his character, I think. Instead of that, you know, the villain and he's like a drag almost, you know, I just want to destroy and destroy, that's all I think about. He was very sassy, you know, he had his funny moments. He had his serious moments, but for the most part he was very sassy.
Yeah, I would agree with basically all your points. I like how, you know, you do see the progression in his bodies. That, you know, he basically starts off crummy looking and he starts building his own bodies, and then at the end you get basically the ultimate Ultron or Ultron Prime, whichever one you want to call him. I like how, unlike in the previews, you thought he was going to be nothing but serious. But then all of a sudden he shows up and he's like the smart aleck and he's always joking and he's like telling jokes or whatever and just being really sarcastic.
Yeah, I did
I was
not
like,
expect
it was
that.
so unexpected, yet I liked it. It was
Yeah.
like, man,
It
this
kinda
really
worked,
this works so well.
Especially with James Spader, he is pretty funny. He has his funny
His
moments.
voice
Yeah,
is
I agree.
amazing.
One thing that shows you that it's a good thing they chose Tony Stark to create him is the way he acts.
Yeah, because he acted
Tony Stark acts just like that.
Yeah, I agree. In Ulysses Claw points that out. He's like, wait a minute, Tony says that, and Ultron's like, don't compare me to him.
And he slaps his off his
he
arm.
acts just like him. He's basically taking the characteristics of Tony,
Yeah.
but
Scarlet,
this is basically him as being evil.
Tony
Scarlet
probably
Witch
would.
points it out too. She's like, well, where do you think he got it all from?
Yeah, she points it out later on. So dislikes, Josh.
I'd probably have to say my biggest, well, it's more of a pet peeve for me. I wish we would have gotten Ultron, but I would have liked a better progression in his suits. Because we got his first suit, the Mark 1 mangled suit, but after that we just go straight into his Ultron Prime, not suit, body. I would have liked to see him in using one of the Ultron Sentries first and then upgrade to his Ultron Prime body and then upgrade from that into his Ultron Prime, but that was just a pet peeve for me. Something I didn't like about the movie, I didn't like that they killed off Quicksilver. I liked him. He's a good character. He's probably better than X-Men Days of Future Past.
CJ, dislikes.
You already know what I'm gonna say.
Go ahead and say it then.
Hulk and Black Widow.
Yes.
So stupid. Like, you can tell that he only likes her a little bit, and then she's just like, I love you with all my heart.
Yeah.
Okay, dislikes.
I didn't like Bruce Banner. He was such a pushover. He definitely went from this to this in this movie. I'd have to say that him and Hawkeye switched.
Yeah, I agree. That would be my dislike, is going to be the whole Black Widow Hulk dynamic. It didn't
Yeah.
seem to fit in this movie. You know, some aspects you can look at, yeah, okay, she's the one who calms him down, stuff, but in the first
Supposed to be
Avengers movie,
Betty.
in the first Avengers, he's trying to kill her. And then in Winter Soldier, I thought it was going to be Captain America and Black Widow. You know, there's a
That
little bit of
would've
flirting
been
around
nice.
stuff. That's
Yeah.
how it goes in the Ultimates and some of the other comics.
And the Winter Soldier. too.
So I kind of expected that to happen, but then it's all like, oh, you know, Bruce and Scarlett Johansson, or
Johansson.
man, I keep wanting to call her Scarlet Witch. Scarlett Johansson, Natasha, have this thing going on, and it's kind of like, it's kind of odd. It's weird. It felt forced.
It
really,
did.
It really
It
felt
did.
forced. And it was just awkward. I think that was the weird. I thought that was the worst thing in the movie.
Yeah.
I really can't point out too much that I disliked about the movie. I did wish that they kept Quicksilver around.
Yeah.
He was a good character. I like him better than the one from X-Men Days of Future Past. He was okay in that movie. He did what they wanted him to do, but I like this version better because he's more like the comic version of the
Yeah.
character. But then I really didn't have too many dislikes. I really didn't. I'm waiting for, because some scenes felt too short or like they could have explained more, but we are going to get an extended version when it comes out on Blu-ray.
Thank you, Joss Whedon.
So I'm going to wait for that before I dislike how short some of the scenes were, or some things like jumped, but because I know that it was supposed to be longer and that it's going to be longer.
Yeah.
Just the one thing that I really had an issue with was Black Widow and the Hulk. It was kind of like, eh. And I agree with
That
you,
could have been avoided.
especially about, you know, Bruce Banner, the Hulk, switching places with Hawkeye. Like, he was really great in Avengers. Everybody loved him in Avengers, but then in this movie, he's kind of like, you suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to
now.
see a bit more Hulk than
So,
Bruce.
yeah, and then now it's like Hawkeye is this awesome character. It's
Yeah,
like,
he
man,
really
he's so
is.
great. So,
I think the scene where Captain America is like, I've seen her flirting up front or up close. It's like, well, I mean, he did kiss her in the Winter Soldier.
yeah.
Because at first he's
It was strictly professional, but still, I mean,
Professional.
he did kiss her, and I'm going, I would have liked to see more of that.
Mhm.
Definitely, that
Bruce
would have been
is
a lot
like,
better.
what are you talking about?
What do you mean up close? I was like, no wonder.
So, what are your all's favorite characters throughout this movie? Because there were quite a few characters, superhero and non.
Let's do instead of just favorite characters, let's go favorite new characters first.
New characters, yes.
That way we can, because there's so many characters. Favorite new characters. CJ,
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch, favorite new character.
She's so cool. She just like blew everything up without doing anything.
Okay. Abby, favorite new character.
I don't know, I like them all.
Definitely not the new Bruce.
I would have to. I agree with Abby because that's a hard choice.
They're all really good. All the new ones are really good.
I like the Quicksilver because I like how they interpret him. He's a little bit more like the comic character. You know, some people will complain about his and Scarlet Witch's accents and stuff, but I didn't see any issue with it. I'm like, whatever, you know.
That's where they're from.
At first I didn't know they're supposed to have accents
It's
until
kind of
the movie started.
Sometimes it's poor accent. You can notice sometimes they lose the accents. Once in a while, in a couple scenes they do, but to me, I was like, oh, whatever. That's nitpicky. I don't care. I really like Scarlet Witch and basically her progression for the movie because they're against the Avengers at first because, you know, Tony Stark is evil and they still think he's evil. They still don't trust him completely. So I like seeing the progression for her. Then they change and then joins the Avengers and stuff, and especially the scene with her and Hawkeye where he's like, well, you step out that door, you're an Avenger.
I
She
think-
steps out
I
that
think-
door and
I
it just
think
shows her
there's
power.
something- There's something with that door because as soon as she stepped out of that door, she got extremely kicked butt, and it was awesome.
She's just like, oh wow, I stepped through a door and I found all this power. Let's see, Quicksilver was good. Vision. Oh
Yes.
man. Vision was a lot better than I thought he would be.
Yeah.
The look was great. That is one of the best looking heroes I've seen in a long time out of any of the comic book movies. Because I was kind of worried about how are they going to make him look because he looks a little.
And
you
in the
think he
comic,
would be a little cheesy.
yeah, and in the comics he does have that little.
Yeah, he does have a little cape. I like how they got rid of that off
Yeah.
of the cape. But I like how they kept him with the green and the
In the red-
purplish, reddish purple,
Reddish, yeah.
whatever color that is. I like how they kept that and stayed with it. And he didn't look. And I like how they didn't do him CG, really. So
Not totally.
he's
but
not
yeah.
totally CG. He's a little bit CG, but you know some things you could tell, like Green Lantern movie, that was completely CG. That was so horrible.
Oh, horrible.
But I like how they did this, where it didn't look like it was CG.
Yeah.
It looked realistic.
I even liked Ultron.
Ultron was great.
He was amazing.
I think he gets a category on his own.
Yeah.
He was
Yes.
such a great villain. I think he was one of the best villains they have done in a long time.
Yeah.
Definitely
So-
the best I've seen in
I
a
really
long
do.
time.
I like him better than Loki in the Avengers movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Loki's phenomenal in both Thor movies, but I don't think he was that good in
He's
in
not
Avengers.
he's not a real villain.
Yeah, yeah.
At least
He's
not
more
in
of a
this.
misunderstood prince.
He's kind of a brat, more or less.
I
Yeah.
also think that
Prince.
the Winter Soldier was a good villain.
That's true. That's true.
He was kind of like, he kind of was rogue almost because, well, like he kind of went rogue because he was good and bad at the same time almost.
That's true. Favorite character, Josh. New character.
Well, there's a lot. I'd
New
also
character.
have to add one that you guys didn't put in, since this is a new character, not really superpower. I like Hawkeye's wife.
She's Lindsay from Freaks and Geeks.
Come on, She's funny.
I thought, yeah. Well, I thought we were sticking more towards the heroes, but she did bring that whole new dynamic to Hawkeye. So I would, when I talk about
And
Hawkeye,
she's the only one who actually called him Hawkeye.
yeah, I say when we talk about Hawkeye, we'll include the wife because they're one, they're husband and wife. So that brings out that whole new dynamic to the character.
But out of the supers in the movie, I would have to say it's probably gonna be a tie between Ultron and Vision. I have to say.
Okay, and characters like regular characters, the ones who basically come back. Who do you like?
Duh, it's Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. Okay.
Of course.
CJ.
It's a tie between Hawkeye and Captain America. They're both really good in this movie.
Definitely Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
He's definitely
Hawkeye all around.
He's also the most improved.
Yeah. I would have to say, well, Hawkeye's a given because he's obviously the most improved.
He's the
But
centerpiece.
I would have to agree with CJ. I would have to go with Captain America too because in this movie, he is now the leader.
Yeah.
Unlike in the first movie where they're bringing everybody together, he is undoubtedly the leader of this one.
Yeah, Tony goes so far as to say he is the leader.
So I like how they basically taken him to the next level and stuff, and obviously made him the leader. But I do like Hawkeye, especially the new dynamic and everything. He is the most improved character. I hope we see a Hawkeye movie. Who knows? Maybe we will. Maybe we'll see a Shield movie. Hawkeye, Black Widow.
It'd probably be better to Shield.
I would like to see a movie like that.
Well, we already have the Agents of Shield,
That doesn't
but
count.
it's a TV
So-
show. But
Yeah.
what if we have like a centric movie centered on them? That would be nice.
that'd be nice. Yeah.
But I don't know. Other than that, some of the other characters, I think the only character that really lost points in my book would have been Hulk.
Yeah.
Because he kind of was like, he basically became a chump in the movie. He was basically like, oh, I'm just gonna roll over and do whatever Tony
Be
wants
a
me to
good
do.
boy.
Yeah. So
I think Natasha lost a few points because she was, like he said, she was very, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. And it's like, that kind of takes away from what Natasha is.
yeah, I think it took a lot away from her character, especially for I think they built her up a lot in Winter Soldier, and then in this movie it was basically she felt weak and stuff. It was kind of like she lost a few steps in this movie and stuff. So I think it's really due to that whole relationship of her and Bruce or her and the Hulk. It was kind of awkward and just it didn't fit.
No,
It just
it
didn't fit. So, ratings. How would you rate the movie out of 10?
Well, this is probably one of the hardest movies to stay away from spoilers. Ever since we first heard of it coming out, this is the hardest movie I've found to stay away from spoilers. But overall, with spoilers aside and all the marketing things, I'd probably have to give it 7.5 out of a 10.
CJ?
9.5.
9.5?
9.5 to 10.
Wow.
Depending on if you count Hulk as one of the main characters.
I'd have to say, probably about 8 out of 10.
Okay. I would give it a 9. I would go as far as giving it a 9. I would not give it a straight 10 because I felt the Hulk was weak. This was a great movie. I thought it did because I would give it that high of a score because of how much you have going on in the movie and how well Joss Whedon was able to keep it all together and make sense of the movie. The only place I thought that he fell flat was the whole Black Widow Hulk. Other than that, I'm waiting for the extended edition to where it'll
That
add
way we
more
can
into the
give
movie.
a
You get-
much better rating.
Yeah, and that way you can see it more. I would give it a 9 because I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was done really well. I thought the jokes were good. I thought the action was good.
Language.
I thought the acting was good. A lot of the characters, the new characters that they brought in, they gave each of them their story. I didn't feel like they shorted anybody anywhere. That's my only gripe is basically Black Widow and Hulk. So other than that, I can't dock them too many points for that.
That's why
Yeah.
I didn't give it a 10.
So I'd give it a 9. So other than that,
Everyone's opinion.
yep.
So, what do you think? We do another review when the extended cut comes out?
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Duh.
Why not?
Or
about
not, let's
watching
go
it
watch
there.
that movie.
Let's hope it's at least an hour longer.
We'll see. We'll see.
Half an hour longer, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it adds stuff to it, I'll be happy.
Watch it be like 2 hours longer.
The
5
original
hours.
script was supposed to be 5 hours.
Yes, it was.
Yep. So.
And I would
Cut
sit
it
there and
quite
watch
a lot.
Yep.
Because Joss Whedon said it was supposed to be Wasp-centric. Wasp
Yeah.
heavy.
That they may have Wasp in it, and then that Loki. Loki had scenes cut out of the movie too.
Yeah.
So we may actually see Loki in the extended cut. So.
That would be nice.
Alright, so this is our review, spoiler review for Avengers Age of Ultron. Let us know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Did you guys see this movie? What did you guys think of it? Let us know also in the comments down below. Like this movie, like this video, and subscribe
And the
to us.
movie.
And the movie, like the movie too. Go to Marvel and like their movie. Also, hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook if you want to. And until next time, keep it cosmic.